Good morning, everybody, and welcome to UTAS Stadium for the NTJFA Grand Finals. Wow, this is really exciting to be able to be here on a nice day and just watch some fantastic football over the next 2 days. So, on behalf of everybody, the NTJFA and all the clubs, certainly congratulations to all the teams that have made the finals. And for our first game for Longford and South Launceston, well done, boys, and really enjoy the day. Thank you to the coaches and the umpires and everybody else for attending. So I'm just going to call upon Graham Gardner to do a welcome to country.
Since the days of Mangrook to how the game is played today, football has been played on Aboriginal land. Today, teams come to represent their community in the same way the Truowa people, the Penina, Palatore, Liti Marina people did. They represented the East Coast, the Ben Lomond, the North East and the Midland tribal regions. Today, we call forward the captains to partake in the ceremony of connecting with country. Each has been given a gum leaf to represent country. Each of these boys are here because they represent their teams, their regions, their community. Ya, Peligina. Hello and welcome to the NTJFA Finals. Waranta Taipani Lakapawa Luatina Riawina. We've come to see our children play sport. Here along the banks of the Kanamaluka River is where my old people lived and hunted. Mina Tanapri Ningipi Nungapi Takara Miladina Nika. I acknowledge them. Mina Tanapri Ningi Pakana Manamapali. I acknowledge my elders and the Tasmanian Aboriginal community of today. These teams of gifted young warriors are fulfilling their destiny. Each team is here to be their best and earn a deserved victory. May all teams play well today and do so in the spirit of the game. Ngari Nina too, thank you.
Thank you, Graham. It's very, very significant. So, without further ado, we would like to get everybody to stand for the national anthem. And before we do, just want to remind the kids here that just take a few seconds to actually take in this arena, this ground, and what's the significance of it. You had AFL Idols playing this ground last Sunday, and you're here today. And with a bit of luck, your age group is the age group that may be playing for Tasmania in the National League. So congratulations, and hopefully everybody will have a great day and enjoy it. Thank you. Let's play some footy.
TV. And there's the Longford players getting ready for their grand final. They made it through to the grand final. They defeated South Launceston a couple of weeks ago, giving themselves a week off. South Launceston on the other occasion had to come via a game against Scottsdale at Deloraine last week where they got their victory. So it's going to be a pretty tight affair. But they've matched up really well throughout the season. My name is Aaron Roberts. It's the NTJFA Grand Finals for 2022. And how good is it to be at UTAS Stadium, York Park? It's been a few years. We were nearly here last year, but unfortunately we had an AFL final come along and pinch the limelight. And we've got some sensational guests that'll be coming in and supporting the commentary today as Longford. And I think the challenge will be is the size of the ground. Longford play on a pretty long, narrow ground. South Launceston are used to a reasonably sized ground, but this is the smaller ones as the umpire's getting ready again. And we've got our first special commentator from way out in the wing, Will Tatchell and Wildus. Welcome to you, mate. And you've brought one of your lads along as well.
Pete, thank you, mate. I just got to get my breath back after going up those 4 flights of stairs.
You know, there is a lift, mate, if you want to.
Yeah, I know, but I'm always one of those ones that takes the stairs, not the lift.
No, that's very important. I'm the same. So, hope you're enjoying it. Duff TV, NTJFA Finals. And the boys are just getting ready. I reckon they'll look around and see all this space here at Wildus. They'll be terrified.
Yeah, she's certainly different to a few of the grounds the boys will be used to playing on.
So the Tigers going to the right-hand side of the screen. It's not really Wung as Drizzen gets it out. First onto that ball is Hartley. He's not going to get it. And he's one of the better players in the competition in Philpott. He had a really good count in the best and fairest, which you counted a few days ago, Wildus, and that was some nice work from you. Hope you enjoyed that, mate.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So neither team's actually managed to grab the football. Now we finally managed to get a kick out. There is Philpott at the end. A high ball. He was under pressure. He actually might end up getting his own football again. Spilling it is Dryzen, and we'll have our first hold up. In fact, that's a free
kick there.
So you would have seen these two teams play a little bit.
We saw them certainly in the first part of the year. We had a good contest against Longford, but we haven't seen much of the South Div 2 side.
So South Launceston, quite a few teams in the grand finals. Longford were in last year's grand final in 12s, and probably just favourites as well. And they had a fantastic banner. There's that space they're trying to find. Unfortunately,
here we go. Have a look at this run. Have a bounce, son.
He thought about it in the middle
of UTAS.
Unfortunately, Hartley, his heart may have stopped as that ball was delivered into the turf, and unfortunately it didn't come back to his hands. Contest on is Ude. It spills out of his hands, then moving on to his Matthews. And then the boot off the ground. Now it's worked in towards South's forward line. Their first opportunity to really score.
Lovely defending by the young fella.
That's good by Riley Atley. He's a quality player. Atley Philpott onto it first, but nudging in the front was Frost. He gets it up to half forward. So, I mean, what would you be saying as a coach, Wildus, on such a large ground? How do you calm the players down?
I think you've just got to let it settle themselves. They're going to be excited. They're going to be enthusiastic and stuff. Just the first 5 minutes are a bit of a blur, really, in a grand final. So, as long as they go out there and enjoy it for the first 5 minutes, and then potentially even at quarter time, it's a chance for the coaches to reset.
And I imagine we're actually seeing the ball on the edge of the ground. We haven't really seen it run besides that one run down the middle, but it's been mostly on the wing. No breeze at all today here in Launceston. Perfect conditions for football. On the knees was Philpott. First down is Perkins. He gets it out wide. Now some run from Bishop. Players that just, as Will just mentioned, just trying to settle and find a teammate, gather the football, compose themselves. There's a spill by Gates. And we might see that one travel over the line and just stays in.
Kept in. Good play.
So now the Longford players are set up well behind the ball here. And there's a high ball up towards the middle. Players jumping but misjudging the football. Reaching down and grabbing it was Hazel. Hazel's got a couple of players to beat. He decides just to shovel the ball out of that contest. It didn't really favour his team. Now South with some numbers just on the flank. Up to the half forward area for them. Scrappy stuff early, but expect that. Philpott also not really composed as he spills that mark. He's got 3 Longford players to beat, and he can't.
You can see a lot of players around the ball. Everyone's just wanting to get a touch at the moment. The first couple of minutes, you want to get your hands on it, settle the nerves. If I was coaching, you want to try and open it up. You've got all this space on a big ground. Let's use it.
Well, there's a couple of the runners been out a few times. It's hard sometimes, though. Everyone wants to track the football, don't they?
Exactly.
Right.
And you can't blame them too much.
No, Hodge. He's a good player, Hodge. Now there's a ball out wide. This is Div 2, so you're going to see the expansive kick up towards centre half. Merritt lost it. And you can hear the noise effects as the Longford supporters are charging in front of us. Looked like Potts might have been taken without having the football in his hands. Defensive work required from Russell. He gets it out to Philpott. Chase on here. Johnson in there first. Philpott gets his boot to the ball. Looks back, tries a last Shepherd. Johnson with a shovel out. Philpott gets it back again. It really is some frenetic stuff as even the umpires are just watching the football, waiting to blow the whistle on the stoppage. And we finally see one.
Young Hamish Walker, one of the field umpires out there today. He's only 11, 12 years old. Done a wonderful job this season in the NTJFA.
Yeah, great job, the NTJFA with their youth umpires. They've got a stack of youth umpires. They're just trying to move them through the ranks and get them into senior footy over the next couple of years. That might be a push out. We've got a good view up here, Wilderstone. This is not a bad spot to watch the game.
Very nice spot to watch football from.
So half back is Russell. His kick is good. So that's the first composed. But they're going really, really wide here at the moment. In fact, so wide it's just kept in play. So 3 balls have delivered to a mark. That's another good kick. Philpott sneaks into the hole. He looks up. He's got a player in the middle of the ground. Not necessarily going to go to him. He probably could if he decides just to go around the short side. The ball's dropped by Cameron. He looks up and he has enough time to sneak that one through that small little gap between the defender. Frost, who's had a really good vote count as well in the Division 2. He wasn't far off the lead for a lot of the day. Now there's a running game trying to get working here for Longford. Up towards the middle. Once again, the noise effects is a really large crowd. That could have been called not disposing of it. The umpire said play on. Neither team have got a score. Neither team even had a shot on goal.
No, she's certainly a tight contest when you haven't scored after 5 minutes. Maybe those nerves are just starting to settle and we'll see something open up here.
Now what we can hear is the Longford
good tackle.
That might be taken without the football.
That's what you want to see, some good forward pressure in early in a grand final.
That sort of bit of extra stuff, isn't it, Wilder? Spinning around.
It's all the grand finals is doing all the little things well, not the fantastic stuff, just all the little things.
Longford with about 3 players around this ball. They can just spread themselves out. They might have an opportunity to have a shot on goal. Still the run on board here for Longford. Tackled down, wonderful defensive work. Ball's turned over. Bulldogs, great stuff.
Here we go. We can see here, Peach, the game's opened up a bit now. So that 5-minute mark, we've sort of seen positions hold a little bit.
But certainly the defensive pressure on both sides is good.
100%, 100%.
So they've won another free kick from a good defensive work. It's Ude who's had about 3 or 4 touches. That's good.
Good centering ball.
He's found another mate.
He's got a man at centre half forward free. Plays on. Want to look to go inside 50 here.
Well, that's a good deep entry too. It's just got to get, was there a little nudge in the back?
Well, I would have paid a push in the back there.
Atlee's got it and he just throws the ball in the air and booms it out. He's going to try and find Johnson. Philpott's in there first.
He's
Johnson,
had a lot of the ball,
well,
Philpott.
These two are obviously matching up a little bit at the moment. Fantastic work by Philpott. He's kept the ball in front of himself. Can he gather it and get a handle over?
Wonderful tackle by Johnson.
And he's saying, hey, I didn't have the football, I disposed it. Probably
play
good decision
on.
For the umpire,
ball not out.
Up towards the pocket. Longford need to hold here. If the Bulldogs can sneak a goal, the best handball from Gates. Now a rushed ball comes out towards the defensive side, but the numbers are once again favouring Matthews. He rushes. He could have taken a little bit more time with that kick. He's trying to find Gillow. Can't get it to his hands. West. Lots of holds, isn't there, at the moment?
It's frenetic football. There aren't many stoppages for the umpires to call.
It's a tough game to commentate as well. It's pinging around. Gates has got it.
Here we go. Here's a scoring chance.
50. Opportunity for Davison.
Wonderful defence.
I actually reckon he fell over. I mean,
put his head over the ball and got rewarded with the free kick there, and gives a little bit back.
He actually copped one right in the forehead. It was an accident. I don't think anything was from Andreessen. But anyway, still a chance here. Matthews ball inside the forward 50. Can Cameron get onto it? He's got some defensive work from Frost. Frost's been really good early with his defensive pressure. Handball doesn't necessarily evade anyone. Gates had an opportunity to pick it up and he couldn't quite compose himself. Still, there's a bump and a push and a shove. Ude.
He's still going. Look at this. 40-metre effort there.
Ball wasn't kicked, but it covered 50 though, wasn't it?
Ah, look at that. There's a golden fist in there. Wonderful defence.
Did he handball it? No, that did not handball it. That was some good pressure. And it's going to be a free kick here to South Donny. And it's young Ude. So seeing the replay, so Ude comes in late and lays a pressure on Bishop. So Ude 45 out. He looks just to lob it up into a big pack of players. And Longford are able just to control. They probably had to play for about 4 minutes here, haven't they, Wilders?
Certainly the Longford defence have controlled this here.
Jerusalem has been good early. There's another defensive punch and just falling out. There's just a fraction, a bit of dew on the ground as well.
It's not frost though, so it's September. We don't have those frosts at the moment. Finals football.
And there's no mud out there either, so no one can complain about this year's grand final location.
Other than the boys might be a little tired when they roll in at quarter time on the big ground.
I think they're sucking the oxygen. The other thing is the runners are going to have to work a bit harder too. The dad's out there. Well done to you.
I know the Longford runner, Tom Green, might have his work cut out for him today.
Steve Andrews is the coach for South. He's a senior teacher up at Prospect. And now it's back to Philpott
again.
That's probably possession number 12 from Philpott. You can just see the length of the ground here, Wilders. The driving kicks don't quite get deep enough, do they?
No, well, that was obviously he's in the square and only just goes inside 50. So maybe a bit of reset at quarter time from both teams.
I'd imagine a bit of running play, a bit of advantage.
I reckon it'll open it up. We can see it's pretty congested and pretty tight at the moment. I think things will change in the second quarter.
Be fascinating to see how the other teams also negate. I mean, I think it's fantastic that's a neutral venue for the grand finals. I think that really adds to it. And the kids certainly deserve to be running around. But the dimensions, the metrics of this grass space here at York Park is certainly creating some issues for the players to compose.
That dew's almost creating a bit of issue too. Not much clean ball coming out of the middle here.
Interesting. First year they've been using the leathers too for the under-12s. They had synthos up until this year.
Well, I do have a little bit of an issue with the leather ball on these sort of mornings.
Yeah, it's a curious one. It was debated at national level, still being debated actually, but debated at local level between all the comps, and everyone decided to go to uniform. Everyone else was using a leather ball. So, yeah, it does add a few more costs, but
I think the skills in a high-paced game like this might be better with a synthetic ball until the ground dries out.
I don't disagree.
We know it all gets a bit of a bar of soap.
I don't disagree. I think the logic behind it was that everyone uses the same football in junior footy in Tassie was the logic. But anyway, stance here, but Longford have got the numbers. There's the old full back just standing in the square waiting for the football. Long time for Atley to wait to get that football down. It's been pickpocketed out of the pack. Dancing one way was West. Into the pocket. He's going to try and find Ude. Ude taps the ball to himself. But unfortunately, he taps it over the white line.
Geez, Pete, you're up and about early, mate. What have we got? 12 minutes into the first quarter. You've got a few games to go. I don't want you peaking too early here.
Look, you get motivated by watching kids footy in a grand final. I think I did 5 in a row last year. Got Michael Maney coming in later today, do a couple of games as well. Great to have Michael coming down from Northwest Coast. He's actually a professional commentator. So,
are you saying that I'm not, or we're not?
We're not. No, we're not. Do we have to pay you for that NTJFA gig the other day? We have to work out some sort of pro rata.
Maybe just the $7 I paid to get in today.
All right, we'll try and get you a pass for the NTJFA next year. We'll see what we can do. We'll get the laminator warmed up now. That ball's been pinged out. No one's managed to get that football loose. Now South with a driving ball. Nearly held on by Davidson.
Here's an opportunity.
Spinning out was West. He wanted to go a handball.
Chance for a glory snap then.
Was he a chance? I reckon he should have probably had a shot on goal then, West.
Maybe didn't have he was on his non-preferred, I reckon.
Still inside South's defensive area, South's attacking area, I should say. Young disposed of the football. West again. It's been good, but the pressure from the Longford defenders has been outstanding. And I I reckon they've had the ball down there for 6 minutes, haven't they?
But they haven't got any value out of it. So it's good defence from Longford.
No defensive side of the ground today with absolutely no breeze. We're hoping to see some sunshine. Clouds nice and high here in Lonnie. We've had a fantastic week of weather. The ground's just a bit of dew, but nice and hard. It's only got a couple more games of football until they put it into cricket season. And another free kick here that looked a little bit sloppy. It's Young. He goes short. It's a good kick from Young.
Wonderful kick inside 50.
It's been pretty good,
He's
Matthews.
got more options, but he goes long to the top of the square.
What do you reckon over the back? Nearly marked. There wasn't a lot of leads.
Well, Longford have got numbers still down there, so you've got to look for options rather than just dumping it long.
Yeah, agree. That could have been a hit-up option. Just a bit flat. Held up in the tackle was Bryant. He's been a pillar in the defence for the Tigers today. Good contest there. Young found some space.
And he's back there again.
There's the goalkeeper.
Zolinak did very well in the best and fairest as well.
Yeah, he gets a lot of the football down in defence. So he can go forward as well, Zolinak, but I think he actually played. I think he played in the gala days too a few weeks ago. So a player on the rise from Longford. That's a fabulous kick. There's a player over the top.
Player on.
So Wing was there, and now they go short again. Wing needs to get in the action here. Smith first to it.
Wonderful surname.
Russell. Smith back again. At the defensive side of the pack was Hartley. Can one of these teams break this free out of this contest and stream forward and have a shot on goal? He's had a lot of the ball, Bishop, but not many of those have been uncontested. And that is a soccer score, 0-0. 0-0.
I have been to a grand final on this ground where that was the final score for a team.
And I did watch that grand final as well.
It very tight contest. You could see both sides couldn't really get their hands on the ball to really light it up at all. So it'd be very interesting to see what rolls out here after quarter time to what both teams are going to try and do with the space available.
Yeah, so I have a bit of work to do. We won't mention the goal kick because there aren't any, but we might just have a quick chat about some of the better players. Look, Thomas Wing was great for Longford. Atlee in the middle of the ground and down in defence. Bishop was seen quite a bit. He was involved, and Zolinak was good as well. And Philpott, maybe 15 touches, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. Although the problem with them was they weren't damaging. He got a lot of the ball, but they were most of them were back a centre.
Yeah, agreed. He didn't really have a lot of help. He's doing a lot of the work covering the ground. I'm interested if he can play the whole game with that intensity as well.
Yeah, you'd want to hope that their rotations are sorted midfield. Otherwise, the last quarter might be a bit of a fizzer.
I feel like there's not a lot of rotations in Div 212s. I'm not sure the kids. It's a long way to come from the far wing, isn't it, to get off the ground?
If that's the case, they want to be playing the corridor and the corridor only today.
Yeah, look, we'll have a break here on Duff TV. It's NTJFA Division 2 Under 12s Grand Final, and we're yet to get a score. It's tight. We'll be back soon.
This program brought to you by IGA, where the locals matter.
So second quarter action, and Aaron Peach Roberts and Wilders here calling the action. Div 2 under 12s and Wilders. Let's hope either the players get tired and it opens up with the fitter players and the more capable runners, or we'll see another quarter of that.
Well, I hope for the crowd's benefit we see a score happen. I reckon there'll be an almighty cheer on the first score.
Well, we do all remember last year when we had double overtime. The new rules have brought in golden score. I'm pretty sure
that is a rule this year, is it? I'm
pretty sure that NTJFA brought that in after that grand final.
You learn the hard way, don't we?
Well, yeah. Obviously, I think it's more the issue. Trudy Rundle, the competition manager, just hates the fact we're out of time. And so she said, I'm just bringing in a rule to make sure that we stay on time. I think that's important. So 0-0 scoreboard. Let's see if we can get something. South Launceston probably had 65% of the play, but there wasn't a lot of clean ball movement from either sides. The player has had quite a bit of the footballs. Hartley, once again, we see that he's under pressure, he's rushed, he doesn't have a lot of time to make an effective decision. Grabbed while he picked it up was Young, and then he threw it out. That's that's nearly a double motion.
Very heavy tackle.
Great call by the umpire there. Great to see Browner umpiring maybe her first grand final. That's a really well-weighted kick to Hodge. Loving some long sleeves. I'm not sure, were you a long sleeves player, Wilders?
Not usually on grand final days.
No, because of the spring weather?
I did roll out a few times with 3 jumpers on a cold day out at Evandale or Perth.
Yeah, or maybe down at Fingal. So Philpott on the back half at the moment. He's had such a great season, such a dominant player.
We can notice already they're starting to spot up the kicks and have a look. So I think we might get a score this quarter.
Fingers crossed we get 2 scores, one for either team. Green. The handball's effective out towards Russell. His kicks to the middle. We're also seeing the play just more in the middle of the ground. Charging through was Perkins. Indiscriminate handball. I reckon he was trying to find Hogarth. He didn't. And there's that ball rushed again. A volleyball spike. Hodge with strength up towards half forward. The tap across by Bishop, who's had plenty of the ball with that curly hair. And there's a throw, and it's a free kick. So Longford via Bishop. He can turn around and have a shot. He's going to the pockets.
He's still a long way out. Drives at home to a one-on-one though.
Bryant's kick didn't quite have the legs. I reckon he knew it as well. Still an opportunity for Hodge. Can he swing around and have a shot on goal? Still in the pocket. Reaching down was Frost, and he gets the score.
2-minute mark of the second quarter, we get our first score.
Is that worth a goal, a point? I'm just wondering.
Well, in these conditions and the way the game's being played, that might be the match winner.
It feels like this ground's twice as big at the moment, but Longford have got something happening via Smith. The defensive kick came out, went straight to Smith. He's going to try and find Bryan in the pocket, and all he's found is the boundary line. Henry Smith down there and the players on the bench.
Very good coach, Henry. Very good football brain on him. See, Longford are just setting up beautifully out here on the 50, ready to punch the ball back in. Even Zolniak, I know he's playing centre half back. He's inside 50 at the moment for Longford.
Philpott under some pressure. Longford then released some players in.
Here we go.
There's
wonderful
a shot.
Snap.
Longford are on the board in the grand final. And Bryant does it.
Harry Bryant.
He looks likely, doesn't he?
Well, he's down there. He just reached down, picked the ball up and put it over his shoulder. Teammates were pretty happy about it too.
There wasn't much space for Bryant to get his right boot onto the football. We'll see.
He looks like the type of player that makes his own space though.
So Philpott under pressure. There's that work, the defensive work. And is Bryant coming in? And even though he was tackled and scragged by Stocks, it didn't matter, and he's got one. And Longford now 1-1-7.
Making a charge, Longford.
So will that spur on South Launceston, because they certainly dominated. So the play at the moment, mostly left-hand side of the screen. Good call. That was holding the football. As Hodge. No, it's not yours, mate. It's the other way. No, it is. Yeah, good.
Doing a bit of YMCA out there.
That's a good kick. You're right, Wilders. They start to try and hit up their teammates. That's a loopy handball. It's put one of his mates under a bit of pressure. Pinching it out was Attlee. That's a double sling. Or could be holding the football. That was a 50-50, and I reckon he's hit the ground with his head. Could have gone the other way, but a tough one sometimes for the umpire. You'd see his head hit the ground. That's technically a free kick the other way, but tough for the umpire to call. It's just got a little bit
50
willing.
here against Zolniak, just encroaching over the mark. He's not happy about it either.
It's one way to get some player movement up ahead. It's Young with the footy in front of us.
Well, he doesn't want to give away another 50 here coming into the area.
Stocks tight in the pocket. It just had a little bit too much pressure applied. He still has a chance, Young. The South supporters are now trying to get involved. There's a player on over the top if he can get it. Not pushed in the back. Fell over. So, interesting throw up here. They're set up well behind the ball here, Longford. If it does come out, they're matching up or playing, but they've got a couple of players on the edge of that, but it does mean one out here by Longford.
3 on 1 out here.
Andrews, and his kick's a little off. But South with a chance, maybe give them a little bit of confidence. Tubb, first to the football, off the ground by Hartley. Hartley then reaches down and tries to win it. Nearly a throw, but the umpire said, no, that's play on, that's okay. Now the umpire's blowing the whistle. So you're right, Will, it has opened up, hasn't it? Even the players have spread a little bit more as well.
Good to see both coaches adjusting to the conditions and utilising the space available.
It's interesting, there's that much space, there's no space. The kids are all just milling around the football.
Good kick.
That's a bomb inside the forward 50. Defensively well set up here, Longford, but if South can get a couple of players around this football, they might just be able to hold it in, get a stoppage. Ude's there, and he knocks it over the boundary line. Good work by South Launceston.
I wonder if they've been working on a set play that might just pull out of the back pocket here. Just a run across the front and a bit of a screen or something.
What have you got for East, mate? You got a set play for a boundary throw in the forward pocket? Ude out of the pack. Shot towards goal. It's to the left. It's a behind, but they've got to score.
Attention spans aren't that great for set plays.
Is that for you or the kids?
Under 12 level.
And they're not really that necessary, to be honest. I don't remember many set plays.
You don't need set plays when you've got this much space.
All right, that's a 1-on-2 contest. You have to work really hard, Smith. He was adequate to get that ball down.
Hartley, still going.
He's kept the ball in front of himself, and he's still trying to get and reach it. So handball doesn't really favour, but they've set up well. Philpott's going to get to it. He's just going to turn around and settle things down. He's looking for a lead. The problem is the leads are in the pocket. They need to get a lead. He's down.
Off.
He's on his bike, kicks it up towards the forward 50. Flying over the top was Gillow. That's a dangerous looking kick. It's put a lot of pressure now on Frost.
Good block.
Picked up by Young. Young steadies, wobbles it up towards the goal. Still an opportunity in the goal square. Snap, just like the other end. But it's across the face. Missed opportunity by Gillow.
Creating opportunities here, South, locking the ball inside forward 50.
That young lad's kicked the ball from behind the line.
Is that a behind? Did the ball ever come back into play then?
No, it technically did it. I don't know what that rule is. He actually had both feet. Get a replay on that, Jared. Just really quick, mate, that kick in. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Yeah, both feet were behind the line. I don't know what I actually don't know the rule on that.
Well, ball's not back in play yet, is it?
No, I'm not sure. I don't think it matters too much. It didn't actually advantage his team at all. The ball shoveled out by McKenzie. It's been a little quiet this quarter. He's playing in defence at the moment for the Tigers. It's kind of a rolling maul that you might see in a rugby game. Teams are unable to break free. There's a tackle. It's going to be held up. It could be holding the football. The umpire says no.
Good pressure from the South forwards, keeping this one inside forward 50. Just want to create an opportunity here.
There's around about 13,500 seats here at York Park.
I thought you were going to say people then for a second.
And most people are standing on the fence. I love it. They want to be close to the action. They want to feel they're part of it. There's a kick over the top. I reckon he's trying to find Cameron. Cameron gets it. Spills. Cameron nearly had it again. Gates coming in.
Zolniak tried to run that one out of defence and took on one too many tacklers.
And he's a little hurt too. Just copping it in the left temple. There's a little distress. You'll see on the replay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just a clash of heads, wasn't it? That's a nasty one. I think he'd be fine. So South with an opportunity to have a decent shot. Dryzen or Drizzen? How would you pronounce that one?
Drizzen.
We're happy with Drizzen. So he's, what, 25 outs directly in front.
Should carry the distance. South have got numbers on the line, though, so we want to see this shepherded through.
So the kick's on its way. He winds up.
He's gone to the space.
Might be okay in the pocket. The ball was dropped. There was 3 South Launceston players there as Hodge for Longford gets the football. Can't get it out of that defensive area. South with a lot of pressure. Really willing. Gates. Everyone's desperate to pick it up and try and snag a goal. Ball still just at the feet of the players. Now it's finally just not clear. Mackenzie. And I think that's eventually gone out of bounds. Well, an opportunity lost, not just from the kick, Wilders, but the mark dropped as well. There's the pressure.
Yeah, both teams just need clean possession here just to set something up.
I reckon we've only seen 3 sort of plays in a row where the ball's been moved to a teammate effectively. It's been a tough old day at the office. Snap out by Perkins. Andrews is in there for South. Only a high tackle, but just held below the shoulder. And Andrews will have to give that back to the umpire, so we just work the ball out. So
things just condensed up a little bit. You see a lot of numbers around the ball here. Last few minutes of the quarter. Longford are trying to hold on to this lead.
Yeah, and if they get it out, they've got no one to kick it to at the moment. So obviously not worrying about the anti-density rule not in play. Philpott pushes off one, snaps it around his body. There's a race on here, getting down. No, just needed to hold on the football, Marshall. Take it without the football. Yes, good call.
Connolly improves his angle beautifully there.
Now Connolly with a wobbly ball into the pocket. You nearly got it. He just couldn't quite hang on. He's got 4 Longford players to beat and a boundary line. And a behind.
They're doing it the hard way, South. See if Longford can get this out of here. Pick up a player or get it out to a player, get a mark happening.
Well, it's a good idea. Let's play on. It's one of the better rules. We can just play on straight out of that area. He's in the air for a while. Tubb.
Good pick up by Hartley.
It's been good, Hartley. It's been quality. And I'll tell you what, Philpott's running out of energy here. I reckon he's back on the ball again, or maybe just off half back. That's nearly a throw on his knees. Smith, or Young, I should say, first to the footy. Philpott at the back might get hold of this. That's a trick.
Hartley again. Look inboard.
He's got
it down the line.
He's got a long kick, Hartley. There it is. He launches it up.
Numbers. Oh, just a wonderful mark there.
Green.
Yeah, well, it certainly sounds like we got 13,000.
Yeah, it's the effects mic's right up here at the moment. That's the style of Duff TV. Bryant out in space. Matthews first to the footy, looks up and then suddenly had some pressure applied by the Longford defender. And the ball's just held out and a quick snap out of the pack.
Defender playing in front. Good defending.
Johnson. In fact, that's Perkins. High ball, just over the top of Smith's head. Taken without the football. Quick handle by Tubb. Not sure the collective noun for 12-year-old footballers, but there's a stack of them around at the moment. This has been the optics of most of the game so far. Now it's a one-on-one. That's good to see in forward line. Gates was there. Gates comes back and tries to lay a little bit of pressure. And there's a little run on here by Connolly. He did have an opportunity a few moments ago. Wide out is Cameron. If he gets it, he's got a chance to get his head up and kick it high. Yude in a good position. Just needed to maybe work a little bit harder to get to the drop of that football. It's one of those games, Wilders, once it's in your 50, you kind of can keep it there for a period of
Running
time.
the stats at the moment, Longford have had 2 inside 50s for the quarter. South Launceston have got 15.
And they've held it there too, haven't they? They've been
Here we
able to
go.
keep
They're
it
out on
in.
the break here. Just gather the ball cleanly.
Smith then had to contend with a couple of South as the Dogs came in to bite at his heels. And at the moment, South will be disappointed. It's the 3 behinds to them in this quarter. They've had a lot of the play. That's
very hard
holding
for
the
those 3
football.
behinds.
Holding the football. So can Longford get the ball up their end? And
In 12 seconds.
Attlee, Bryant spills the football. We're nearly at the end of the first quarter, and we've seen a score, which is fantastic. And just getting out of the pack was Tyler Young, and it is half time. And we have a goal kicker, Harry Bryant, with that brilliant snap right inside the last 15 metres. He had a lot of players around him, and then South managed to get the ball up their end as well. So it's 1-1-7 to 3 behind. South probably had most of the play. Will, just a quick summary from you.
You saw the first part of that quarter, it really opened up, and that's where a lot of the play existed and where Longford got their initial goal and stuff. And then the back end of that quarter, things closed up again. So whether the boys are getting tired or something changes across the course of half time, we hope that it opens up and we get a bit of a goal fest in the second half.
Yeah, we certainly it partly opened up in the first sort of 6 or 7 minutes, but then once it got into sort of South's forward line, South really closed the space in. At one stage, there was 32 players inside the defensive 50. In saying that, that's about the size of some of the youth grounds we have going around. There's Steve Andrews talking to his players here. Just a couple of players to mention again. Attlee was really good as he got a bit of the ball. Bishop was involved. Harry Bryant with that goal. He was down back. He was down forward. He was eager and keen. Zolinak, who did go off the ground, he had a couple of good minutes as well. Philpott still got plenty of the football, but I thought Tyler Young's quarter then showed he was involved and engaged. Connolly had 1 or 2 opportunities to try and get the football, but I thought Thomas Hartley was probably the best on for South in that quarter. We'll have a break here on Dove TV, and we'll be back in a few moments for the second half of the NTJFA Division 2 Boys Grand Final here for 2022. It wasn't kicked, but it covered 50 though, wasn't it?
Ah, look at that. There's a golden fist in there. Wonderful defence.
Did he handball it? No, that did not.
On the 50, ready to punch the ball back in. Even Zolniak, I know he's playing centre half back. He's inside 50 at the moment for Longford.
Philpott under some pressure. Longford then released some players
Here
in.
we go.
There's a shot.
Snap.
Longford are on the board in the grand final. And Bryant does it.
Harry Bryant.
He looks likely, doesn't he?
Well, he's down there. He just reached down, picked the ball up and put it over his shoulder. Teammates were pretty happy about it too.
There wasn't much space for Bryant to get his right boot onto the football. We'll see.
He looks like the type of player that makes his own space though.
So Philpott under pressure. There's that work, the defensive work. And there's Bryant coming in. And even though he was tackled and scragged by Stocks, it didn't matter, and he's got one. And Longford now 1-1-7.
Making a charge, Longford.
It's a dangerous looking kick. It's put a lot of pressure now on Frost.
Good
now,
block.
Picked up by Young. Young steadies. Wobbles it up towards the goal. Still an opportunity in the goal square. Snap, just like the other end. But it's across the face. Missed opportunity by Gillow.
This program brought to you by IGA, where the locals matter.
So these breaks are very, very short, Wilders. They're not. If you were actually going off the ground, you wouldn't even have a chance to do a wee and come back on before the kids stay on the ground in this level.
A very animated Longford coach, Henry
Smith. You can hear him from
he was, we're 100 odd metres away up on level 4, but we could still hear him rather clearly, just laying down the law to his charges.
So Peach and Wilders here on Dove TV Div 2 Grand Final. I hope you're enjoying it out there. If you can't get to York Park today, you'll see all the games streamed live. They have 4 games today and 4 games next well, I should say tomorrow. First time ever, Saturday, Sunday. And we negotiated this about 4 months ago. So thanks to Tony and Robert here at the stadium for giving us an opportunity to get these games back to the home of footy in northern Tassie.
Just one move I've noticed. Zolniak's gone on ball to give a bit of drive for Longford out of the middle, getting that first centre clearance.
Nearly on cue, Stocks. Once again, they're spread out. So it's good when the ball's on the move, isn't it? The kids are spread out and you can see they're actually sort of playing an anti-density at the moment. But then as soon as the ball gets inside the forward 50 for any length of time, a lot of the players then just start to creep up. And in the minute you look around and everyone's within about 5 metres of each other. Dresden on his knees or trying to kick it off. He's going to try and reach out. There's Ute, who's had a good quarter, or a good half, in fact. Loose ball. Bishop missed it.
Almost dropping it there.
Bishop again. Connolly, he laid a shepherd, but none of his teammates were there to pick up the footy. Well, that ball actually just sort of popped
Handball
out.
to himself. He's gone again here.
You don't see that.
Racking up their fantasy points.
Is it worth a point when you handball to yourself? It doesn't.
Or is it ineffective?
Ineffective handball, isn't it?
What about if you regather it? It's effective?
It's very effective, but we'll have to look at that one. That's the stats, because you don't see that as much these days. Players tend to like to hold possession of the footy. Don't tap it in front of themselves. As the ruck contest is Dresden over the top. Really good in defence at the moment. First to the footballers. Atlee's had a terrific game. He was pretty good in the vote count as well. There's a scrag. A lot of players are getting their jumpers scragged, and I think it's probably resulted in a couple of sling tackles today. We've had 2 sling tackles called and probably 1 missed. And it's just a little sloppy. Do you need to tuck your shirt in, maybe? Tuck the jumper in, Wilders. The kids don't want to be. They're not cool if you have your jumper tucked in.
Maybe there's a case for going to the skin-tight jumpers rather than the floppy ones.
I think there's a bit, but I imagine there's all sorts of size and shapes out there for the kids. We've got a free kick, so Philpott just attacking side of centre wing. Yes, going short. It's up to half forward. Up to back was Dresden. In there as well was Matthews, and the umpire said he's been held, and it's going to be a free kick here to Matthews. Or in fact, it's going to be, it is Matthews' free kick. So what's he got, Matthews? Haven't seen many leads, very stationary.
Just a kick straight over the man on the mark. You want to look sideways, get the 45 kick happening, open up all this space.
Well, Gillow was an opportunity. Now it's swung around towards Cameron, and finally the Dogs have one.
Just weighted numbers there inside forward 50 created that opportunity for South. Longford boys might have just been snoozing a little bit.
Yeah, I think they were ball watching, because suddenly Cameron, you'll see on the replay, he's on the right-hand side of this pack, and he had, in the end, a pretty easy shot on goal. So there he is there. Actually, that's an assist, I reckon.
Just got goal side and just opened up nicely for him, top of the square. That's where you want to kick them from in grand final.
So the first lead change back to South. They're 139, Longford a 117. Don't think we've got a scoreboard sponsor today. Very difficult when we have Brighton Best Bakehouse.
I think.
Well, we might have to get the logo up. I think you've got to contribute, or you have contributed, so you'll be a sponsor next year. I noticed your viewership's gone through the roof since you did the presentation last night. Fantastic job by...
A lot of action on the socials last night.
Yeah,
follows.
Fortunately, I was allowed to watch it about a week ago. Made sure there was no shenanigans by the two of you.
It was live last night.
No, there's no chance we're going to let you two go live to air for a kids vote count.
Well, don't tell that to the NTJFA. Here we go, an opportunity for Longford.
Well, he's got to play short.
He's got 2 or 3 short, but goes long over the man on the mark again.
Well, we had Frost. Frost just needed to make a little bit more noise as Hodge spins around. Probably good decision, then he just bombs it high into the atmosphere. Doesn't favour his teammate. Then Bryant snaps around the corner.
Bounce.
What's it going to do over the back of the pack? Pressure here coming towards South. Clark defending gamely at the moment. Ball's still in play. Now the ball's out of play. And it behind is handy.
Good hustle from both sides there, offensive and defensive actions.
Just these younger players in this Division 2 sometimes don't know how to create space away from defenders. Probably could have been a wide handball. South are going to get this ball out with a long run. He's gained 20 to 30 metres. Now it's kicked outside the defensive 50.
Good shepherd off the ball.
Dresden had the footy, lost the footy, tried to kick it, missed it.
Longford on the outside here. Can they get a clean possession?
Oh, there's a nutmeg. There's tap between his legs. A few balls being booted off the turf. That's a good pick-up by Hartley. Hodge trying to win the footy for Longford. That squirts out towards Matthews. It's great to see the footy on the main
clearly
grandstand
being
side.
held there.
A lot of pulling of jumpers.
He's going to have to go back and get his own ball here. Oh, he's off. He's off. He's tried to pull one on the umpire there. Got to come back behind your mark, son.
Oh, he's just had to run an extra 30 metres. That might have taken a bit of energy out of him.
Is it a tactical time delay?
Stocks now. He's out of the blocks. Centre half's his option. Oh, thought that was going to be a Cameron Mark. Kicked that goal a couple of minutes ago. And what a crucial goal that might be in the context of a low-scoring game, or any score. Even behinds are important at the moment. Juggling ball by Zolniak. Copped that little knock in that second quarter, but he's fine. Trainers do a great job at volunteering their time off the ground. Now it's been picked up. It's been spilt. The umpire's head nearly taken off there in the middle. Be block laid here. Stocks again.
Great attack on the ball from both teams here. You can see the contest just gone up a level as they try and wrestle for this lead. Battle in the midfields at the moment. We haven't really seen it go inside 50 like the first and second quarter.
One of the really interesting things at this level and at this division, speed is such a critical factor. If you can get to the footy first, and you've got a couple of players that can do it at the moment, South have just got the numbers around the football, a bit more effective, a bit more speed than Longford.
Especially with the space available on this big ground.
Dresden, and as the age brackets go up, it'll turn around to more about decision-making, less about speed. There's a boot off the ground. We've seen plenty of those out in front of Perkins. Once again, a missed pickup. Frost. Perkins laying a bump into Hartley. Just on the back of the pack, Russell's kick. Bishop. His left boot now to the football, gets it up towards half back. It's missed by Hodge. Trying to bash his way through is Bryant. He's the goal kicker for Longford. There's Cameron's kick.
So should have been a kick to space there, open the game right up.
Yeah, I think at this level it's literally get the ball and kick. Philpott on his bike. He's got a little bit of a gap between him and the player coming in behind him in Frost. His kick is good into space, as Will just mentioned. Bryant's going to get in there first. I should say Bishop's going to get in there first. Yude with a kick out of the pack. Connolly dishes back to Gillow. Gillow's got Bishop to contend with, and Bishop wins that little battle. Gets his own football, and he taps it in front of himself, and then he just taps it off his boot. And then a high ball out of the defensive area. And they breathe light again. Just come back in.
Just another repeat entry here for South. Yeah, they got a 5-on-2 in screen.
Unbelievable. None of those, all those Longford kids were involved in the last contest. And they stayed standing there. That probably an indication that they're getting a little tired. Zolinak's a bit of a character, isn't he? He's just shoved Philpott, and Philpott barreled off the football. And
yeah, a bit of isolation happening in the Longford forward line here.
Yeah, one of Martin Duffy's many things he loves about footy is a bit of open play, but he struggles sometimes when it's contested like this, or congested, or contested.
Well, it's one of the things about grand finals. It's what attitude a team comes in with, whether they're going to try and block it up or go for the win, or it shouldn't change too much for grand finals, but sometimes it does.
Young South as well, they're sitting on the fence.
Sitting on the fence, it's
just not really sure which team to
support. The only thing I want Duff to try and find is a car that's parked up against the fence and they're tooting the horn somewhere.
Yeah, I know a few people ribbed Longford the surface, and that was certainly no fault of the council or anyone last year, but I do enjoy the grand finals out at Longford. That intimacy of the cars and the fans all packed in around the couple of little grandstands there. Zolinak spinning out of trouble. Then he somehow lost the foot. He had it in his hands. It slipped out like a cake of soap. Wing, ineffective from him. Now it's a loose ball. And there's that, mention that space and speed is so important. Marshall turns it around, but he's got no teammates up forward. Thrown out of that contest. Now it's going to be Young's ball.
An interesting decision. Longford had the opportunity here.
Was a player just standing in the hole. Still a chance for the Tigers to maybe get one late. Surrell.
Clark, the last line of defence for South, does a good job at fullback there.
They're spread out a bit more now, so we're kind of nearly seeing technically the anti-density being played at the moment. There's a few less players around the ball. We do have boundary umpires for these games, but all they're doing is adjudicating when the ball goes out of bounds, not necessarily throwing it in. That's a kick that has been cleared. Matthews.
Here we go. We got numbers out here now. Sits beautifully.
Look at the speed from Philpott.
A long way, Philpott, and a little too far. Oh, gets a 50 in return.
He knew it too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, big moment, because this is just.
Now, these are worth their weight in gold, these shots.
The VC.
Wonder if he's got the distance to carry it.
I don't think he does, because he's got 5 of his teammates leading towards him. Frost now, will he play on? He races in towards goal, gets very close to the player in the mark. It's up in towards the square.
Well, they got it. Oh.
Nearly snuck out by Hodge in the pack. Ball still not being cleared. Zolinak is there first. The tackle
Great
late.
tackle.
Dresden didn't quite dispose of the footy. West. The goal shot from Frost. Frost knocks it out towards his teammate.
South have got 14 defenders inside their defensive 50 at the moment.
Yeah, there's 2 Longford players, so there's 2 extra South players. Interesting, what would you do as a coach? I mean, there's these 2 Longford players who are just inside the front of the square. In fact, there's 4.
You've got to come up and man them up, otherwise Longford are just going to keep peppering it inside 50. And we've noticed today already there's that intent to get it on the boot quickly and just get a clearing kick, and you can see Longford are just going to mop this up and put it back in.
It does mean, though, that South have the advantage just to compact around the football and make it really hard for the Tigers to get a free shot on goal.
The last 2 minutes of the quarter.
I reckon it might be just a set play here from Steve.
Trying to hang on to the 1-point lead.
Well, it could be one. It's going to be won by behinds, I would imagine. It was a low-scoring game when they played in the semi-final a couple of weeks ago, and Longford got away late in the game, and that means South had to go through the prelim final. As Zolinak high ball, there's a South player.
Great mark by Young.
So he's now the South
wants
player
to keep possession
to run.
here.
Yeah. Out
to a dangerous spot. Intercept mark. Hodge.
How good from Hodge.
Will he play on here? He's looking sideways. He's off.
He turns it around the corner. Hodge's ball's long into the square. Quick kick.
Oh, lovely defence.
Smothered off the boot.
Oh, he's trying to rush it without being deliberate there. Wonderful bit of camera work from Duff.
Hazel had a chance too.
Well, we've got a minute to go in the third quarter. You're a point up. You don't want to turn this one over like the last kick.
The scores are level now. It's been spilt by Smith. Longford charging here in the third quarter. All the play their end. They've got defensive players at the back of the stoppage, as they're probably the only way South can break this ball out is to get a bit of run going, and here's their chance. 90 seconds left here in this third and decisive quarter, where South finally managed to get a score on the board. Green tapping it down and trying to release the ball out of that pack. The moment no one can until it's Bryant. Bashes it forward on towards the foot of Hazel.
10 seconds left. Can they score?
and it looks like that's going to be it. So it opened up for moments, but in that quarter was definitely Longford, and we saw a goal from Cameron. And in the second quarter, Harry Bryan, who launched the ball inside that forward 50 for the last attempt by Longford.
I tell you what, you can't set this up any better. Scores tied at three-quarter time. Goals worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, they're worth more than gold. What's worth more than gold?
Diamond?
Diamond, is it? Yeah, there must be a scale here. It's a tired bunch of players. You see Longford coming off the ground. Now I'll have a breather. We might have a break here because the breaks between the quarters are so short. We're not going to have much of a chance to recover. It's a frenetic football here in the Div 2 Under-12 Boys Grand Final. What can South find to turn this one around? Because Longford had the energy and the effort and the ball inside their forward 50 a lot of that quarter. We'll have a break here on Duff TV. We'll be back in a few moments.
This program brought to you by IGA, where the locals matter.
So we're just waiting for, we're actually waiting for the president of Tamer, Phil Goss, to get off the ground. Pan down to Phil Duff. There he is. Come on, Gossy, get off, mate. He's a volunteer today. He's got about 10 different roles. Looks like he might be the manager. I feel like Phil might have had some surgery reasonably recently. I don't think he's got a sprint in him anymore.
I wonder what magic was delivered by each coach at that last break.
What would your instructions be? You
win the ball, kick it to a teammate.
Well, maintain possession, isn't it?
Yep.
I'd say it's hard to say be composed because it doesn't actually happen, and particularly at this level, it's not something that necessarily comes natural to some of the kids. It's going to be about my sort of money's on South, and we had a chat between the break on who we thought.
I'm on a draw. I'm on for extra time in the first game, just to really throw the schedule up.
That's going to ruin Trudy's day. We can't have that. We can't have that.
Reckon it's odds on at the moment.
At stage 1-3 apiece. I reckon we'll see. I think we'll see at least one more goal from one of these teams. I don't think we'll see multiple goals in this game.
Good mark.
But can Longford maybe put a score on the board early? Smith in the middle. That's a good kick from
Here
Smith.
we go. A couple of linked possessions here.
So a player who's been really important, Harry Bryant, towards the pocket. Can they find something here? The ball's been tapped in front of Wing. Now it's been pushed out towards Surrell. Wing goes back again. He loses the possession, but then he just nudges and shoves West out of the way. High ball, not one down by either team. And there's a releasing kick. It's going to come back again. Spilt by Green. Gets around the defender. No, he doesn't.
Great
what a
tackle.
Great stuff by Young.
Here comes Dresden on a long lead. Gone to that area.
Oh,
Turned over.
Hodge. He might be the hero. So Longford have come out the better. Been missed
They've got
by Cameron.
Isolation up forward.
Slung down without the footy. Surrell. Suddenly in there.
Here it is.
Kick
Off the ground.
That's... Well, Frost.
Could that be it?
Wilders is calling it. There's the golden score. That's exciting. Here's Frost. Oh, it was a good attempt too. I just feel like the celebration would have been large and ferocious if they had managed to score it. And the faithful from Tigerland would be going bananas.
Green and Zolniak on a 4-on-2. Don't get it.
Dresden now rushed, but gained some meterage.
Johnson.
They're set up well in defence, aren't they? Really well coached side, Longford. They're disciplined and structured down there. Don't leave their position.
Here we go. Here's an opportunity for South.
It's a bit of that
inside
right.
50. Look at the space they've got to operate in here. It's all about numbers now.
So the noise level goes up as South Launceston go forward for the first time here in the last quarter. That's a shove in it back.
Put his head over the ball and earned the free kick there.
Mackenzie gets away to free kick to Gillow in the pocket. He's a little too far out. You can see players
great shot
behind
behind this.
Is Ude a chance to jump up and grab a footy? Didn't necessarily favour him. In the pocket.
Hartley! Oh.
Swung out by Perkins. South Launceston. Ude didn't handle to a teammate. Bishop misses it. Steadying shot by Cameron.
Oh, he's kicked it.
Cameron does it. The Dogs are in front.
Again, there's that structure set up behind the ball that just allows those extra numbers to pick that off.
Well, how's that? Cameron 2 goals, Longford 1. So Ude was involved. It was it was a rush kick. Ball dropped by Bishop. Did you see him steady then, Cameron?
Great kick.
Well done, Nick Cameron. You can see the disappointment on the face and head of Johnson in the goal square. And there's the coaching staff. Now, this is the one thing I do like, 6-6-6 rule.
Ooh, just
Six,
noticing
six,
the
six,
interchange there. Longford with the extra man on the ground very briefly.
Yeah, well, the rule is changed actually quite recently. You don't necessarily get your score wiped. There's a few different rule changes. It actually happened in a high school game of footy last year when a player was on the ground for about 15 seconds. So can the Tigers respond? They have so far today responded. Does the belief from the Bulldog land start to rise?
Terrific tackle.
Andrews taken down. Defensive pressure's been immense from both sides.
Intercept mark there. Beautiful. Perkins.
Been good, Perkins. High ball up to a pride of Lions just on the back flank. Scooping down was Atlee. He had a teammate up a field. He gets it to a one-on-one contest. It's snuck over to back to Bryant. He rushes the ball out to Zolniak. Look at him charging a football. Look at that intensity. In fact, it's Wing, I should say. And then he slips over Wing and scooping it up and getting the ball. I reckon Longford have got a chance to go back again. Frost was looking for an option via his hands. It wasn't effective as the South players converge on the football.
Being presented with opportunities here, Longford. Just got to get a clean possession.
Well, they didn't need to lay some block. It's the fitness of both teams which will play a factor in this game. And hasn't disposed.
Oh.
Just had his jumper held.
And a 50. Gee. This could be costly for Longford. They just needed one possession in that last couple of minutes just to clear it up a little bit.
So Ude's going to just get within about 45 metres. He's got a player stand. It was a lot of Longford players back. He's got
Philpott's in the middle by himself.
He's going to try and play it around the mark.
He's gone the barrel.
Barrel. That's okay. Out of bounds.
This might be the set play. Just get a forward stoppage in next to that point post.
Is that like a rugby, is it? A rugby in, you kick the ball, was it behind the back third or whatever, and it goes out on the full or out. I can't remember the rule on that one, but you get a
40-20.
It didn't work though. There's the ball, but it might come back in again. Green trying to keep the ball in. Russell scooped it out. Bishop now just charges away. And I don't reckon he got his... I reckon the umpire didn't see him kick it.
I reckon he got a boot to that, and the umpire was on the blind side.
Yeah.
There we go. There's Philpott open by himself. He's got to play.
Well, Philpott's...
You want to have a look? He
had Gillow further up, but now they're stationary.
He's got Young free as well.
Here he comes charging. He tries to get as much perch to the football as possible. Ude misses it.
Perkins with a clearing kick.
It's going to come back in again, though. Onto it first is Young. And then some pressure applied, has been pinched.
Potentially a free kick there for High.
Philpott, as so often today, he's been charging at the footy. And he's overrun that one, but he still might get it back. He picked it up, but disposed of it straight away. Longford need to find something. They're 5 points down here.
Halfway through the quarter. 7.5 minutes to go, Peach.
Players are just trying to hang on. The energy levels are being sapped on the large expanses of York Park, and something that I think just for a second I looked around, I was about to throw the whistle in the mouth and call holding the football. Pressure on the umpires as well in a grand final. They've been fantastic.
They've been great today.
I reckon they've nearly nailed every decision, maybe bar one sling tackle, which sometimes they're hard.
Just set up beautifully for this. 5 points down, Longford. They get a forward push, get a goal. Makes it very interesting.
The slinging arm, but Frost gets to it first. Smith, and now it's Bishop. Check side ball up towards half forward. Jago. Bishop again, battling with Philpott. He tried to get a handball. The energy from Philpott's been outstanding. You can see why he tallies votes in this division. He's just always near the football.
Oh, that's dropping the ball from Hartley. Is this the opportunity Longford are after?
Hazel's been good in the second half. He's presented himself. Big fly by Hodge.
Almost a great inside 50 mark. Follows up his own work.
Haven't seen many, have we, inside 50s where the players have been able to hang onto the football. There's the photographer doing some work over there.
Longford wants some movement around this ball here.
A lot of players. So this gets out the back here. Longford have still got those two, well, we'll say high half backs. It'll launch the ball back in again, and South are reluctant. Steve's been reluctant to put a player on those, and what he's done is he's saying, well, we'll throw a couple of players inside our forward 50 to make it hard for Longford to score.
Oh, that's a lucky kick from Hartley off the ground. Got his teammate in the space, but he hasn't been able to gather it.
Took a long time then, Cameron, and he finally gathered it, but then the cavalry arrived.
Perkins puts it in. Oh, play on, says Hamish Walker.
Well, I thought that could have been holding the footy. He goes back, and it's Get Willing out there at the moment. Smith with a kick out.
Longford.
It's been dropped by Jago. Still a chance for Jago. There's a player at the back. He can't get it to him. There's a player now coming on the side. It's still an opportunity here. It's now picked up by Frost. Frost loses possession. It's dragged. Is that holding the football? Not called by the umpire. Now it's in the forward line. Thrown out. Picked up by Bryant. Then he spills it when he had an opportunity. And South will get it out. But maybe not for long, because Longford are really well set up. A rush kick in there.
Johnson's going to get this.
There is that player set up, but no one can pick the footy up, Wilders.
Synthetic ball would be clean possession by now.
We'll have to swap the ball over with 4 minutes to go, as both these teams are really struggling to maintain composure. And it will maybe now be the team that can do that one bit of magic. It's a high ball by Dresden, but a long waiting was Atley. He plays on, he races around Gates and gets the ball up towards half forward. Can Longford find something with just under 4 minutes left? in the quarter, and once again,
giving it a good roll of the dice here, Longford. They've just got to maintain possession. They've got numbers at the fall of this ball.
it just seems like it's a hot potato. It's extremely hot potato at the moment.
Hodge has been terrific this last quarter for Longford.
He's lifted, hasn't he? I mean, he was really good in the first 3 quarters, but I feel like he's lifted. I mean, it could even be one of those things where it's a 50-metre. We've seen a few. Young's kick.
Oh, wonderful gather by Perkins.
Perkins has been a maestro off half-back. Philpott first to the footy.
Goes towards the runners. The runners want a possession.
Well, he's kicked it to himself. We'll give a possession of that, but then he loses it. Hodge then comes in late.
Hodge in a 3-on-1 puts a great contest in.
How good was that from Philpott? He actually had 4 or 5 touches then in a space of 70 metres. Perkins.
Oh,
How important is a mark?
absolutely. Clean possession, linking possession, goes to the dangerous space in board, cut off by South.
So Bishop's kick's a little unfortunate for his team. South, they've got numbers out the back here.
Hartley's there. Overruns it.
I reckon that could be a throw, not called.
Bishop again. He's had a hell of a lot of it this last quarter.
It's been magnificent, Bishop. So dying stages here. If you've just tuned in, Div 2, the first of 3 or 4 grand finals today here at York Park. Cameron with a ball inside forward 50. Could this be the opportunity? But rushing out is the defender for Longford. High ball up towards Green. He waits an eternity until it comes to the ground. Gateson's in there for South Launceston. He can't win the football. Juggling ball now for Attlee. He couldn't quite get it out either.
As long as the ball's at this end of the ground, it's in the good spot for South Launceston. Longford need to string possessions, get it further up the other end.
And they've got to find something now, Longford. On the outside is Attlee. Kicks to a 1-on-2 contest as Longford with a lack of numbers, but out the back was Frost. He's had a good second half. Can Longford forwards get involved in this contest?
Oh, they've got numbers.
Jago. Bryant now good from Bryant. He kicked it into some space. A handball over the top. Where's a Longford forward to try and pick it up? They're just tapping the ball off the ground. It's on towards Hazel. It's now missed by Surrell. Surrell held in the tackle. Surrell goes back again. Bryant comes in late. It's only a fraction left in this grand final. Smith slung as he with it. Surrell in there again. Was he disposed of the football?
They're giving themselves every opportunity here, Longford. They just need a clean possession.
Frost misses it. Now on to Pfeiffer. Only moments left in the grand final. It's 5 points of difference. It's probably going to come back again.
Perkins. Been a rock in the defence there.
Attlee has one. No, it's a Perkins free kick. There's a minute left.
Gets it in there.
South with numbers around this football. They're
Wonderful
desperately
smother by Smith.
They're desperately hanging on to this game at the moment. One break out of this pack here, Wilderson, the game will be over. Could be over for either side.
Won't get past Perkins.
Perkins slung to the ground, but a good call. An important disposal as that ball was kicked out towards the centre half forward. Longford.
30 seconds left.
They just need to somehow maintain possession. Now it's on towards Gates. Gates has got a defender to take on. Did he dispose of the football? Sliding in was Attlee. It's nervous stuff here. Russell. Desperate kick. South with moments left in the grand final. That looks like South are going to hold on. There's 10 seconds left. It's now under 5. Longford with their last chance. It's now 1 out.
Well done, Hartley.
Pfeiffer.
3-on-1. He wins the ball.
And that's
There's
done.
The siren.
South have done it. And if that's an example of some of the finals we're going to have today, we're in for a bottler of a grand final here. South Launceston win. They defeat Longford 1-4-2-3. It was 5 points in the end. And that's heartbreak for Longford, but someone's got to have some heartbreak, Willis.
I tell you what, it wasn't a high-scoring match, but I tell you what, as far as the contest goes, that's a phenomenal effort from both those teams.
We'll have
You feel for Longford, the effort they put in that last quarter. They had opportunities, just couldn't quite get that last shot on goal.
They certainly did have an opportunity. It was probably 2 minutes to go when the ball was inside the Longford forward line for about 90 seconds, and they had one or two players who are unable to gather the football and have a clean shot on goal. And in the end, Cameron's 2 goals was the difference. Nick Cameron with 2, Harry Bryant was the only goal kicker. It seemed like an eternity ago in that second quarter. In the end, we'll just repeat the score. 2-3-15 to 1-4-10 is a full-time score. There's Sarah Merritt, the president for South Launceston. So South get the first tick on the board. We'll just mention a couple of the better players before Wilders gives it a bit of a wrap-up here. Wing and Attlee were fantastic for Longford. Trey Frost got a little bit of that ball in that second half. I thought Perkins off half-back was probably the best player in the quarter. So involved. Blair Bishop was really brilliant. Zolinak a little quiet in that last quarter. Maybe the knock to his head hurt him. Harry Bryant, who managed a goal in that second quarter. And you can see the disappointment on the face there of Surrell, who did actually have 1 or 2 opportunities late. Had a lot of pressure applied to him. So a lot of good players there from Longford. They were terrific. Ethan Philpott got a bunch of the footy. So involved. Gillow was pretty effective as well. Dresden was really good. He ran. Stocks got a little bit of footy, and I thought Saxon Yude was great. And just a couple of opportunities for Connolly, unable to just be composed. But there's South. They won it. Wildersley. Last few comments before we had the presentations.
Yeah, I think South just had contributors across all lines there, and that's probably what got them the win in the end. Longford had a couple of standout players, but just couldn't quite put it together. So very well played, both teams. South probably deserving, and as you said, unluckily, we've got to have a loser in this, and at this point, it's obviously Longford.
Well, and these players have obviously got years of junior footy or youth football left, of under 12s. This is some of these underage kids or under-level kids, and there's the Longford coach giving some really positive instructions back to the players. You can see a few kids with some tears. It does mean a lot, doesn't it? I don't remember it meaning that much, but I suspect it did mean that much.
I think you put yourself in their boots, and they've just played a grand final on the premier ground in the north of the state, and you don't come away with the win. Yeah, it means a lot. How long they remember of it.
Yeah.
Most of them might forget about it next week.
Yeah.
And stuff next season. So no doubt there'll be a few players in there that will go on to bigger and better things, and we look forward to following their journey across the course of their junior career and then into their senior careers.
Yeah, really critical stage, because a lot of these kids will be moving, particularly the Longford kids. They've got a transition where the kids finish their primary school at either Cressy or Longford for the most part, and a lot of those kids do transition into the city, and some of them end up playing at South Lonnie. So these kids will mingle a little bit between these two clubs. Maybe there's a nice rivalry created. So great grand final. We're going to have some presentations soon. Thanks for you, Wilders. Great job from you, mate. You're going to hang around for a bit longer?
If you'll have me here, Peach. I don't think I've done anything to warrant me being kicked out of the commentary room yet.
Great, we'll keep you going.
I'll leave that for my partner in crime, Worm, when he's going to come in.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see a little bit of Worm. We've got South Lonnie coming up again against Tamar. That's going to be a bottler. But South Lonnie with the victory in the Div 2. 2-3-15 to 1-4-10. They're currently singing their song. We'll have a break here on Zuck TV and look at the presentation. Swung out by Perkins. South Launceston. Yude didn't handle to a teammate. Bishop misses it. Steadying shot by Cameron.
He's kicked it.
Cameron does it. The Dogs are in front.
Again, is that structure set up behind?
Green trying to keep the ball in. Russell scooped it out. Bishop now just charges away. And I don't reckon he got his... I reckon the umpire didn't see him kick it.
I reckon he got a boot to that, and the umpire was on the blind side.
Final that looks like South are going to hold on. There's 10 seconds left. It's now under 5. Longford with their last chance. It's now 1 out.
Well done, Hartley. 3-on-1. He wins the ball.
And that's
There's
done.
The siren.
South have done it. And if that's an example of some of the finals we're going to have today, we're in for a bottler of a grand final here. South Launceston win. They defeat Longford 1-4-2-3. It was 5 points in the end. And that's heartbreak for Longford, but someone's got to have some heartbreak, Willis.
I tell you what, it wasn't a high-scoring match, but I tell you what, as far as the contest goes, that's a phenomenal effort from both those teams.
We'll have to take...
You feel for Longford.
Yep. Let's get this.
Okay, now that we've got that worked out, what an exciting game. Congratulations to both teams. You've done an amazing job and it was really, really exciting to watch. I'm sure all your parents and everyone in the audience that was watching was absolutely beside themselves with excitement. To Longford, just not your day, mate, but you guys played really hard. You got there, you had your go, and you've done a really good job. What a great year you've had. South, you've been on top of the ladder all season, I think. Is that right? Yep, and you've come away with the win today, so congratulations. To your coaches and parents and everyone, thank you for your commitment for the year. It's been a big one, and we're really, really happy that we've been able to be back here at UTAS and play today. We'll start off with our Under-12 Div 2 Best and Fairest presentations. So we've actually got Best and Fairest runner-ups to stay. We've actually got 4. From Scottsdale, Taylor Hazelwood. Stand here, we'll get a photo of you in a minute. Next we've got, I'm hoping I'm saying this right, Trey Frost from Longford. Well done, great game. Lewis Davey from Deloraine. And lastly, Cooper Griffiths from East Coast, which I don't think is here today. So again, we've got a three-way tie here for our best and fairest with James Coxon from Scottsdale. Ethan Philpott from... And lastly, William Power from Georgetown. Well done. So we've got the Perpetual Trophy here, so we'll get this photo and then we'll get one with this. Up on our Facebook page, so feel free to take them and use them. So our best on ground today is number 1, Ethan Philpott for South. Want to stand there and we'll take a photo? Can we have our Longford coach to come up for a few words, please? A great season, mate. We look forward to seeing you next year. Good game.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming, and first of all, thank you very much both teams. Put on a really good spectacle. Big congratulations, South. You really bought it today, and it's a credit to you boys. So enjoy it. Heads up, Tigers. You really bought it too. If it was anyone's game, it's a game of centimetres. You tried your guts out to the very end. I love every single one of you and your passion. You're champions, all right? Get around each other. It's only a game. And today, South got the prize. So well done, boys, and well done, NTJFA, and thank you, everyone. Thanks, all the helpers.
Our South coach, would you like to come forward?
First of all, I just want to thank Longford Football Club for putting on such a spectacular game today. Each and every one of you can hold your heads high. You've played exceptionally well over the course of the whole season, so well done, boys. I would also like to thank the NTJFA for this season. They've put on a spectacular season and finishing on such a great place. It's just fantastic. To the sponsors of the NTJFA, once again, thank you. Without the funding that you guys provide, it makes it hard for this to occur. And finally, to my team. I could not stress how incredibly proud I am of each and every one of you. Each of you played a particular role today and did that exceptionally well. Well done, Bulldogs. And I look forward to hopefully continuing on as coach in a couple of years.
So while you're there, we'd like to present you with the ball, your banner. You might need some help with that. And your shield. Yeah. And we'll get you to call the players up and...
Number 1, Ethan Philpott. Two, Sam Andrews. Number 4, Nick Cameron. 5, Cruz Potts. 6, Brax Gillow. 7, Travis Gates. 8, Logan McHenry. 9, Sam Clark. 10, Tyler Young. Number 11, Kingston Gapala. 12, Harry Dreesen. 13, Tommy Hartley. 14, Archie Matthews. 15, Daniel Stocks. 16, Lucas Marshall. 17, Aidan Davidson. 21, Patrick Russell. 22, Saxon Yude. 24, Matthias West. 30, Levi Merritt. 31, Kaneda Connolly.
Okay, boys, gather around so we can grab a photo of you with your